Good morning. My name is Reverend Celia Young. This week's theme is Notes from the Courthouse. Imagine you're on the street, minding your own business. Out of nowhere, a group of masked men wearing fatigue approaches you and demand that you show proof of citizenship. When you cannot show any papers, even you are a citizen, they grab you and throw you in handcuffs and then take you some mega prison, who knows where. If you're lucky enough to have to hire a lawyer and you may get out in a couple of months, what happens if you don't have any money and your immigration status is unsettled? What would you do? How do you feel? If you are an immigrant and you know an immigrant story, then what I'm about to tell you might be very familiar to you. I came to this country 54 years ago to go to graduate school. Then I applied and received a resident status with a green card. This meant I could legally stay in this country. But I learned that I had to be on my best behavior because they could kick me out if I just get caught breaking a law, even a small infraction. I've lived like this for 5 years gingerly before I could apply for citizenship. I studied and passed the citizenship test. Then I had to wait 2 more years to finally become a naturalized citizen. Once I got the US passport, I thought I made it. I'm just like any other US citizen with a sense of freedom. But I know this country is not perfect. Throughout my life in the US, I've been told many times to go back to where I came from. I've been discriminated against on the job. During the pandemic, when Asian hate crimes are on the rise, I was followed and received hate mail. Despite all these experiences, I still managed to appreciate the freedom I do have. But the events that happened in the last 200 days make me feel scared and unsure again. On the street, as a person of color, I know I would more often be suspected as an illegal due to persistent racial bias in this society, which is reflected in our law enforcement. As recently as 2 months ago, a patient in the hospital where I work as a chaplain asked me if I was documented. Now, this current regime threatens to strip the status of naturalized citizen that based on some arbitrary policies. Once again, I'm reminded I'm nothing but a second-class citizen in this country I've called home for my most adult life. I'm scared that I will be grabbed in front of 99 Ranch Market, or if I took overseas trips, I may not be able to come back in. I know the chance is very small, but I lost trust and confidence in this country's justice system. Like many other immigrants, I had put the United States on a pedestal for a long time. I idealized this country because I thought it was built on law, not personality. I must tell you that I am disappointed and heartbroken to see that it is becoming just like any other power corrupting country in the world. So when I see the ICE agents randomly kidnap mostly people of color on the streets and in the immigration court, I feel the call to do something. Yet I'm also very aware of the risk I can run into. It took me weeks to decide if I should take on the court observer's role. I decided I would do it because the TV image of a little girl crying for her mother in the youth detention center when this president was in the office the first time still haunts me. The difference between me and those who were kidnapped is that I had the privilege to find a path to stay. They didn't. The only hope they had was to rely on the mercy of the court. In the court building, ICE agents were wearing plain clothes, do not show any credentials. They blended in with the asylum seekers or respondents who came in for the appointment with the judge. Knowing the violence I might run into just because of what I look like, my reptilian brain sent me danger signals. I needed to protect myself. So when other mostly white observers engaged the ICE agents, I kept my distance. But I witnessed the anguish on the families' faces and friends who waited in the lounge while the respondents were going through the court hearing. Inside the courtroom, when the judge dismissed a case, that means the respondent will be grabbed by the ICE agent waiting outside. I saw a grandmother crying with a little kid in the stroller while her daughter was taken. I tried to use Google Translate to talk to the people in the waiting area. I told them I was here to support them. After one such brief conversation, a woman hugged me. Rage and sadness filled my chest when I saw people get thrown into an unmarked white van. When I said I would be a witness in court, a friend asked me, "What is the point of being a witness?" Here's my answer. To witness is to hold up a mirror to others, to give them a chance to see what they look like and who they really are. If no one was there, did 6 million Jews get sent to the gas chamber? To witness is to serve as screen of conscience. We do this not just for others, but for ourselves, to take a stand and declare who we truly are. As you use, we don't just talk about problems or analyze problems, we do something. We will not turn a blind eye to injustice and cruelty. Based on a Buddhist principle, a spiritual warrior's work is to be the witness when the world is suffering and catch them with love and compassion. Some days I get overwhelmed with disillusionment and fear, and I don't feel like I made any difference. Some days it feels like we're going backwards. Some days the work is like throwing one starfish back to the sea at a time. But I am surrounded by people who are committed to doing their parts and fighting back against tyranny. I know I'm not alone. This has helped me from giving up on this country. Maybe you do not want to be a court observer when the democratic system is being assaulted from all fronts. There are plenty of opportunity for us to do something. Being a witness is at least we could do. We cannot afford to turn our backs on destruction. Of course, to keep up the fight requires courage. Courage is not just some raw adrenaline. It takes some calculation based on the risk level you can tolerate. I urge you to check your risk tolerance level, perhaps crank it up a notch. Tonight, before you go to sleep, I want you to ask yourself what you have done to fight against tyranny today. Perhaps by using more of your privilege or giving up a little more convenience. Or did you throw back at least one starfish? Namaste. Thank you.